Good morning, everyone. It's Tuesday, November 11th, 11/11/25, and this is Training Wheels. It's a gathering for about an hour, which we get together to talk about a daily lesson in A Course in Miracles from the aspect of sort of the everyday, which was written about in a book called Training Wheels, which I wrote in 2019. It's very interesting to read what I wrote in 2019 because things have changed since then, which is good and to be expected. So I'll get us started, and then we can have a brief meditation and then have a conversation about what this lesson means to you. It means something different to me now than when I first practiced it. So please feel free to share how perhaps it's changed for you during your course in time. So I will be reading the first 50 lessons as a way to sort of move us in to this, this contemplation. And where we are is lesson 68. Love holds no grievances. That's lesson 68. So settle in. I'm going to turn my screen off so I can just read without worrying about it. Just be present where you are. Know that you're welcome in this space and that we're all here together in love and cooperation. And there's only one of us here, but many, many unique expressions, infinite unique expression of the one. So settle in, get comfortable, take a few centering breaths, and just be present where we are. Nothing I see means anything. I have given everything I see all the meaning it has for me. I do not understand anything I see. These thoughts do not mean anything. I'm never upset for the reasons I think. I'm upset because I see something that isn't there. I see only the past. My mind is preoccupied with past thoughts. I see nothing as it is now. My thoughts do not mean anything. My meaningless thoughts are showing me a meaningless world. I am upset because I see a meaningless world. A meaningless world engenders fear. But God did not create a meaningless world. My thoughts are images I have made. I have no neutral thoughts. I see no neutral things. I am not alone in experiencing the effects of my seeing. I am not alone in experiencing the effects of my thoughts. I am determined to see. I am determined to see things differently. What I see is a form of vengeance. I can escape this world by giving up attack thoughts. I do not perceive my own best interests. I do not know what anything is for. My attack thoughts are attacking my own invulnerability. But above all else, I want to see. Above all else, I want to see things differently. God, love, source, all that is in everything I see. God, source, all that is in everything I see because it is in my mind. I am not a victim of the world I see. I have invented the world I see. There is another way of looking at the world. My mind is part of God's, of love, of source. All that is, I am very holy. And my holiness envelops everything I see. And my holiness blesses the whole world. Indeed, there is nothing my holiness cannot do. The recognition of my holiness is my salvation. I am blessed as a son of God. God, love, source, all that is, goes with me wherever I go. Love is my strength. Vision is its gift. God is my source. I cannot see apart from God. Love is the light in which I see. Love is the mind in which I think. God is the love in which I forgive. God is the strength in which I trust. There is nothing to fear. God's voice speaks to me all throughout the day. I am sustained by the love of my Creator. And love holds no grievances. Love holds no grievances. What is a grievance? It is a complaint, a disagreement, a resistance about something I do not like. I may have a grievance against my boss, my neighbor, my partner, my body. The fact that I must pay taxes. The weather. Grievances arise about anything and everything. I may have a grievance about a drug company or politicians, and most of us hold some grievance about the world we see today. When I hold a grievance, I have entered a test of wills with reality. I am saying, no, I do not like this. I will it to be different. A grievance is a judgment against what is, and I will never win this test of wills. What is, and it has been called to me to show me that everything is always for everything and everyone. Suppose someone runs into my car and I suffer a broken leg. My personal mind would interpret this as a cause for grievance. It would portray me as a victim and justify my projection of blame onto the other driver. My friends would sympathize with my projection and agree wholeheartedly. My insurance company would likely sympathize with my projection by suing the other driver for negligence, and they might receive financial benefit from my projection. But I might also open my heart and my eyes and my mind to see the event through the eyes of the driver. What was his morning like? Was he unable to afford new tires? Did she anticipate being fired that morning? Had she argued with her husband? Was her mother sick? How many times have I narrowly escaped being in the shoes of that driver? Have I not been guilty of driving mindlessly? When I open my eyes to the other, I might see the accident as an opportunity to learn something new. Who exactly is the other driver? What were the circumstances? Perhaps instead of blaming, I could see this differently. Perhaps I could remember my function, which is to forgive and to allow, and I could help the driver to remember their function. Seen through the eyes of love, there is no contradiction in helping myself and the other driver. Seen through the eyes of love, my accident becomes my opportunity to develop my own power. Power from within to create my own reality. In choosing to focus on my power instead of my victimhood, I heal myself. And I offer healing to the other person. Now we are joined, where before we were separate. This is why love has no grievances. It never separates. It only joins. Reactivity is usually a sign I am in resistance. I am saying no to what is. I am setting up or holding up a grievance to reality. It shows me I am projecting outward what I refuse to see within. Every grievance is an opportunity for healing. Nothing is stupid. Everything is for everything. A grievance is a blessing, often disguised as trouble. A grievance is a blessing, often described as trouble. So let's sit for a minute or two, maybe 4. I'll time us. Don't worry about the time. Just relax in this and allow yourself to become aware of some grievance in your experience now. It could be a thing, a bodily function, something from the past, something you anticipate in the future. It could be anything or anyone. And just allow it to arise in your awareness. As this grievance arises, if you have one, maybe you don't, and that's okay too. But if you have a grievance and it is arising now, taste it, smell it, notice its particular sensory experience. It will feel like something. Just notice it. And look at it a little bit more closely. Where did it come from? Did you play any part in it? Just ask. Now look at the grievance from all sides. Does this grievance that seems to harm you benefit anyone else? Could it be interpreted in another way? How does it feel to look at it? And when you've looked at it, welcome it and say to this grievance, I would see you as my teacher, as my friend, as a part of myself, that I may remember you are a part of me, and I would know you as myself. All that arises within me. Nothing is separate from me. Everything is for my benefit. Notice when you do this, if a feeling of safety arises. Oh, this is for me. It is not against me. I am safe wherever I am. Love holds no grievances. You, who were created by love, can hold no grievances and know yourself. To hold a grievance is to forget who you are, what you are. Notice today when resistance arises and say to yourself in that moment, whenever you notice, love holds no grievances, and I am love in truth. To hold a grievance is to forget my true self. When you're ready, gently come back to the moment and take a few centering breaths, and then we can talk about this lesson. Take your time. For those of us who have been practicing the awareness that everything is one, grievances may have shifted or changed. The experience of grievances may shift or change. And I noticed Livy's hand was up, but now it's not.
And I had nothing to do with that. Lowering it. I'm not sure why or how that happened. My iPad is like, I'm in control now. you know, um, this was, as always, is right on time for me. And one of the things I realized the other day is I still have blame in my being. And so I was able to see that. And I was also able to what happened was my estranged sister actually called me yesterday and asked if she could come live with me for a while because she's having to move away from where she lives. And my body just physically reacted to that and tenseness and fear. And what I realized was the fear, when I looked deeper, that the fear involves um, if I don't let her live with me, would she kill herself? Would something really bad happen? And it would be my responsibility, and I would be the one to blame because I didn't allow her to move in with me. And so when I started writing that down, I thought that's interesting that I still believe in blame, that I still have that um, in my conditioning, and just recognizing the wonderful opportunity that brings, and to, and it's not even looking deeper into the blame, it's just seeing, oh, there's blame, and becoming curious about it, and not, you know, becoming that. And so I'm grateful that my body lets me know, and it's just figuring out exactly, you know, exactly what's going on. So this was just so right on for where I'm at. And thank you so much for that. Thank you, Amy. So good to
Thank
be
you.
with y'all this morning. I sure do love it.
Thank you, Libby. Something you said really stood out for me, and that was you noticed that there was blame, but you didn't go down the rabbit hole with it. You just noticed it, right? It was just arising. You don't have to attach any kind of personal agenda to the feeling that's arising. That's really good. Good insight. Yeah. Lonnie, good morning. How are you this morning?
Good morning. I'm here.
I'm glad you're here.
Um, Interesting. As always, this is right on time. When when the meditation started, and I've been walking in just this a lot. I've been walking with a feeling of just openness everywhere in this system, like no congestion in the physical part of it. And so when you offered the suggestion of finding the grievance, it was like, but what if there is none? So I was so grateful when you came back and said what you said about if there is none, because what it allowed me to do was to reach back to the last time I remembered feeling something in that way. And it's one of those lessons that the divine brings. It was wonderful because it was someone who has been trying to be what they would refer to as a friend to me, but who I hired as a workman in the house. And I had stupidly paid them before the work was over. It's a long story, longer than I want to tell. But ultimately, my last call to him there was a reply of, you better pay me and this and that. And so I was like, what the hell is that? But I'll see you tomorrow. I mean, it never showed up. So, like a month out, I was like, well, this work is still not done. And I'm walking in and I have this churning. And there's a part of me that says, leave it alone. You see him for what he is, leave him alone. But then there was another part of me that was like, felt that there was a need to just tell the truth of my experience to him. What ended up happening was actually kind of an old practice that saved me a few times, which is I wrote to him. First from that place of anger and what the hell is this and all of that. And then the second letter was seeing him and making the choice to just love him and acknowledge what I was feeling, but to also acknowledge that I could see him. And then I came to one of the sessions here. I don't remember what it was. I was actually writing it one day when the time came for one of the sessions. And so I didn't get to send it. And before I knew it, days had passed and I never got to send it. And I revisited it and I was like, not sure that it needed to be sent anymore.
Mm.
And then yesterday, I received a message from him apologizing for the way he had responded to my request acknowledging that he didn't realize who it was that was sending and he thought he was responding to someone else. Acknowledging everything that I had written in the letter that I didn't send, acknowledging all of that and explaining to me that he had been in the hospital for the last month and a half. When I talk about the bells of hallelujah that rang in my system, I can't even explain what that was like. Because I was able to see how the story I was started to tell and everything came into a form, how it held on, and just to slowly, and part of what I've been hearing in my system is just be still and let God.
Mhm.
And that's what that was. Just be still and let God. And yeah, that was what I was kind of standing with as I went into yesterday, which I don't know if I'm ready to get to yet, but holy crap, this lesson, this reminder of the support that came from the divine energy of just holding and being still until I'm shown what's been put there for me. Thank you.
Thank you. What an affirmation. Thank you for that. I think Richard had his hand up. Richard, I missed you, but Cindy let me know.
Hi, everyone. I love us all, and great to be here with our company. And what came to mind for me was what's really helped me on my path was initially when I read this lesson and dealt with grievances, it was about Richard having grievances with other separate entities within the illusion. And then I realized somewhere along the line that the Course also says that everything that happens in my experience is for my good. So at the same time, I was dealing with the thought that if I want to be truly free, I have to forgive the world, not the individuals, but the whole world. So if I have when I don't forgive the world, whether it be politics or war, whatever the issue is in the world that I perceive is in the world, if I don't agree with that, it's unfolding perfectly, then I have agreements with the world. I'm saying, no, it shouldn't be this way. I want it to be different. I want to change people's minds so it can be different. And over time, I was able to reconcile in my own mind that everything is happening perfectly as it is. And if I don't find peace and love in that, then that's my problem. I have to heal my mind with regard to the world and regard to individuals within my experience. So I just wanted to share that with you. It's really helped me.
That's beautiful. Thank you. Richard, how are your ribs doing?
They're doing fine. I'm almost back to normal.
Oh, that's great. I love it. I love it. Alice, you're up next, but before you go on, I just want to relay a story that's in here, which we're going to be probably doing some Thursday. So this woman has a near-death experience, and she's coming down with a group of folks to heal her body before she comes back into it. And they decide to play around. They think it's really fun to see, well, what if we put a piece of shrapnel in her head? What will her life be like then? Oh, that would be so much fun. She describes it as goofing off with her non-physical healing friends. And then, well, maybe we should take her arm. How would that be for her? Now, if one of and she says during this interview, if I came back with shrapnel in my head or missing an arm, I would experience that very differently, and and probably would have a grievance about it, no doubt, you know. But in the non-physical world, they were just having a hoot, just creating challenges that she could face and expand her experience. A whole other way of looking at it, just a completely other way. So, Alice, thank you for being here. On that note,
On that note, um, it brings up for me a lot of the some people saying and not really meaning it was like, oh, another flippant opportunity to grow and heal, you know. But uh, it is. I was the grievances for me is just a big standout concept for my traveling the Course of Miracles. It was like, oh, I think that's the gist for me, holding grievances and all the lessons about I'm not upset for the reason I think, I don't know what I see. It's, um, meaningless world took me a long time to sort of accept that this is a meaningless world. And I took up the little tagline that I think it's I can see if I can do it. My grievances, no, it's my defenses. My defenses are but foolish guardians of a mad illusion, which I thought was one of those sentences that in the course that just impactful, and foolish guardian, not just ineffective guardians, but really damn foolish and of a mad illusion. And so I catch myself and I can put grievances in the place of my defenses are foolish guardians of the mad illusion that I'm trying to keep. And I just think grievances for me they're the blocks that we talk about, that we want to release, that I want to release, that I feel like are, blockages. And I was also thinking about that in the story about the shrapnel now and the car accident is in I'm also a student of, Hawkins is like, I had questions about neutrality being so far up on the higher rooms. And that seemed like, no, you have to have an opinion. You have to you can't just walk around being neutral, that would be really weird. But I understand that so much better from and I'm from the coursework and whatever, but it's love hold no grievances. And I on a personal level, I guess I'm going to say this because I've been in my husband died last April, and I really I had a really good loving relationship with him. And so I'm as you're supposed to, I went to a couple grief groups, and I thought it was a grievance party of like some magnitude, because all there was so much upset about having experienced a loss like that. And we do, and I was doing it, but I did like, oh my God, I'm like at the biggest pity party, grief session, grief grievance releasing party. And but it was helpful for me, and because then I could, that contrast, I could stay on the side of being grateful for everything I had with him. I'm grateful that I don't feel like, I really felt like the ricochet around the room was everybody, they were cheated. I got cheated. And I also try to use questions like I think was in that lesson, when am I like that? You know, when do I feel cheated? When do I bubble up because I'm not getting something I'm supposed to, you know? So I like those kind of, and the questions for me is like, what am I making this mean? You know, if I can stand back a little bit when something's agitating me, and it's like, oh, yeah, maybe I could say, I feel cheated, you know, or I feel victimized. Um, and I think, you know, finding the going deeper, finding the subtleties of that is the work that we do. So thanks for the lesson. Thanks. Glad to be here this morning.
Thank you, Alice. I'm tempted to say, my condolences for your loss, but you seem to be doing quite well. You seem to have a really good perspective on it. So thank you for that share. Thank you. We love having you here, and you add a lot to our group. Thank you. Yeah. Rick, thank you.
Good morning, friends. Good morning, Amy. Thank you for your service. I love uh, the meditation. I loved how you worded the voice, your voice. All of it was very soothing, and um, this thing of grievances. I have when you said it, I'm thinking, oh my God, the Rolodex starts going off. But the main one that it stops with is, this grievance that I have with the gardener and her husband. And, it's just these petty things that my mind has made up. And as a result of that, I start to act like they're real. But the beautiful part of how, and the reason why I'm laughing is because I found grace there and how you brought us through that. And I got to see it. I got to see it not through the perspective or the filter that Rick's been seeing it through, which is I'm pissed off, which was, nothing's going on. The insanity of this, thing that lives in my head and talks to me like it's me. And uh there is a loving God, as you 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 spoke about indirectly, that lives in me and speaks through me if I choose. I forget I have choice sometimes in this matter. And you know I oiled my heart as you were reading a lot of that. And, you know, I have a head that runs riot, but I also have a heart that's loving. And I forget that. I forget that because I have this reactive character that plays through me sometimes. That can run amok. But I also have this heart that can I'm going to say punch holes through, because there is I'll use the words that I've heard in these rooms, which is whole, there's all this stuff that is piled on top of it that is really what I truly am underneath. To dismantle and to clear off all this stuff. So I'll say, clear my side of the street is the pathway to what I am. Ooh, when you said ribs, I thought I thought you were talking about other ribs. And I thought barbecue. So my apologies, but I laughed. And I hope I made you laugh as well. But yes, what a wonderful, beautiful meeting. I love being with you people. I don't express that much and I don't share a lot, but really, I look forward to being in your presence. And so thank you.
Wow. Thank you for your words, Rick. What a gift. Thank you so much. Really, truly. Everyone here brings something. It doesn't matter whether they speak a lot or not. Just their presence here is enough. And you don't even have to, as Cindy has said so many times, you don't even have to have your video on. You know? We all bring something here for each other, and there's only one of us here. But the more that participate, the more of the one that is here, the vaster the uniqueness of the whole group. It's really phenomenal what happens. So, anyone else want to talk about their grievances? Or lack thereof? Patricia, good morning. Ah,
I clicked the yes to unmute button. Did something come up that you could press? I have to find out in Zoom how I can make it more automatic. How I can get access to it.
it's all right. Okay.
Can I ask a favor while we're waiting for Patricia to figure out how to unmute or not?
Sure.
I was getting some messages. Suzanne, who's the beautiful being who introduced me to the guides, is having some medical issues. I just found out she left Mexico to return to New York to get some testing, and I wonder, I don't know any details other than that. But as I'm sitting here with that, number one, there's some grievance here because I felt an impulse to reach out to her a couple of days ago, and I literally misinterpreted it. I was in this space of being very quiet with God, and when the impulse to reach out to her rose, something inside said, no, 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 that's Cindy just trying to distract herself from being quiet and needing a social life. So I didn't. And now I hear she's been having dizziness and nauseousness intense enough that she left Mexico to return for more medical testing. And so there is a little bit of a grievance here that I'm just confessing to, and an acknowledgement that I misinterpreted an impulse. I wanted to kind of say that out loud. But I also am hoping we could word for her. Because I know the
Absolutely.
power of doing that as a group. So
Absolutely.
um,
Patricia looks like she's unmuted.
okay, Patricia, why don't you do that first and
Here
before
comes-
we leave?
No, let's continue with what you wanted to do, and then
All
I
right.
can run in.
Okay, well, I just want to take a few seconds to word for because so if you want to repeat after me if it's on your heart, we just say, word, I am word.
I am word, I am word.
I am word through my body, word, I am word. I am word through my vibration.
I am word through my
Word, I am word.
word.
I'm word through knowing myself as word.
Knowing myself.
I am word through our friend Suzanne. Word,
Suzanne.
I am word. I am word through the nauseousness and the dizziness and
The nervousness and
the experience of the body within Suzanne.
experience and
Word, I am word.
Right.
We know who you are in truth. We know what you are in truth. We know how you serve in truth. You are free. You are free. You are free. I don't know about you, but I feel a whole bunch of energy movements. So thank you. Thank you very much for that.
Thank you. It's so interesting. Perhaps this is not new to some of you, but it continues to amaze me. The forms of communication that arrive from outside my little egoic mind. And when Alice mentioned just being neutral. Part of the reason that just being neutral is so high on the scale is that it's receptive. So when I'm in my neutrality, I'm able to receive and notice. And we are not taught to do this, but the communication that comes, and Cindy's sharing reminded me of this. It can be such a subtle form of communication. Go back in the house and check the stove, you know. You left your wallet, or call this person. And it's never right or wrong to not go back in the house or not check the stove. It's always an invitation. And it's always a choice to move with the invitation or to move in a different direction. But you can't be wrong.
Neutrality means non-judgmental awareness.
Thank you, Richard. What a great state. It's a state with no grievances, right? Openness, receptive. Jean Klein calls it being listening. Being listening.
I was going to say it's a state from which you could hear the divine life, everything speaking to you, because it's not clouded with all of the mind or personality's constant talk and assessments and judgments.
Exactly.
Once that, same thing when fear falls away. When fear falls away, that's when I started to realize, oh shit, that was all that conversation. And then suddenly there were so many things that were always there. I just had never been able to hear them because all that was going on.
Exactly. Exactly. And what Rick was saying about remembering the love, when the love arises and is noticed in that place of neutrality, it feels so good. And I know I keep going back to this. It feels good because it is good, and it is good because it's who you are. And cultivate it, cultivate it, cultivate it. Allow it, allow it, allow it. And that's love has no grievances, because when there are no grievances, the love, which is what we are, has the natural inclination to arise in knowing. Richard, good morning again.
I'll let Patricia speak. She's been home for a few seconds now.
Thank you, Richard. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I had an interesting experience yesterday. I was coming back from physical therapy, and I had a bag of goodies. One included some yogurt from this store that makes fresh yogurt. And the top wasn't on firmly. And it spilled all over the Uber driver's car and all over me. And I was so upset about it. I mean, it was a brand new car. And I felt, oh my goodness, look at what I've done. Grievance against myself. And grievance and blaming the store for not making the lid tight enough, right? Like it was their fault? I don't think so. It was just an accident. And my Spanish wasn't that good. I was able to communicate some. He was able to see what happened. I was able to help clean it up some. We came into my apartment complex and he cleaned it up. I said, no, I want to do it. And he said, no, 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 no. And he was so gracious because he realized that my intention was not to mess his car. I think he really realized that I felt badly about it, that I had, so I went and got soap and paper towels, and he said, no, 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 no. He said, it's okay. And he left. And I'm covered in yogurt. My shoes are covered in yogurt, can be washed. But what I realized was when goodness comes, when there was real communication, even though the languages were different, but human to human communication about feeling badly and wanting to be of service to help, that communication was nonverbal and it was full and it was rich. And it was a wonderful experience.
Hmm.
So I just wanted to share that.
Thank you,
It's
Patricia.
lovely.
Thank you.
Could you mute me? Because my mute button isn't doing so well. Thank you.
Wow. Well, I want to thank everyone for being here this morning. We
Amy,
have-
I saw that Alka had unmuted like she was going to say something, and then she muted again. So I just wanted to highlight that before you said goodbye.
Thank
No,
you.
no, I was just going to say that Patricia wanted to speak. That was all. But well, now that I have unmuted, it's not related to grievances or anything, but nevertheless, I had this experience where a 90-year-old friend of mine who's ended up in a home because suddenly she had a fall and she's become delusional and not being able to remember anything, etc., etc. And the doctors decided that was the best place for her. And we've been trying to convince her for 3 or 4 years that she should make the decision herself while it's in her control and she should do it. And there was all this, when she ended up in her home against her will, there was all this, she should have done this before and now she's lost control, etc., etc. And I thought, my God, why am I judging her? And then I went deep inside myself and I thought to myself, would I make the decision to go in when I think there is a need? And my inside cried out, no, 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 no. So that was a big revelation to me, that in spite of thinking that was the best place for her, my own inner self doesn't want to do the same thing. A confession. So,
I understand that, Alka. I think most people have the same experience. They think the same thing. Yeah.
the thing is, you see, I'm actually watching how her not making a decision early enough has not helped her. And all of us, all our friends are taking it in turns to visit her and do things for her and take her stuff from the apartment to her and all that and all that. And yet my inside is not willing to do that for myself. I don't know.
Beautiful. That's beautiful. Rick said, mentioned, I think, no, maybe it wasn't Rick. It was someone mentioned having grievances against yourself. Yeah, maybe it was Patricia, but that's oftentimes the first place grievances arise is against ourselves. In fact, that is where they,
I somehow want to say innocence.
yeah. Oh, I love
We are
that.
innocent. We are innocent.
Thank you. And on that note, we're going to be meeting again in, when are we meeting?
58 minutes.
June, yes, okay.
And I got a little message telling us that Linda Joy will be leading us then. So
Right,
please come if you can.
okay.
Thank you so much, Amy. This has been extraordinary. And thank you, everyone. Whatever it is we're creating together here at An Open Door, it's just, man, it feels so good. And let me stop the recording. Here we go.